Hi everyone, I'm Asha, an Akashic Records reader, blogger, and podcaster. In this series, we will demystify the Akashic Records by bringing to you bite-sized contents on frequently asked questions relating to the Akashic Records. We will also explore topics relating to spirituality, as well as practical application, learnings, and reflections in the Akashic Records. My Akashic Masters are very excited to join us in this journey. We send much love, light, and blessings to all. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 9 of an Akashic Light reading and healing session with Christine. At the start, we asked if there were any general messages for Christine, to which her team shared. We welcome you to this session. It may be the first experience you have with us in this lifetime, but indeed, it is not the first reunion we had. Many lifetimes back, you were closely associated with us, working with us, and those codes had laid dormant within you, ready to be activated in this lifetime when the conditions are ripe. We wish you the very best and brightest blessings to you. On Christine's first query, she asked, I feel like my team has been guiding me to step into my personal power. I feel there's a higher spiritual service that I'm here to do, and I will be seen in some way in my lifetime, because it feels like this is where I'm learning. And every time I step into that feeling, I feel the fear of being seen by other people. It's like I fear the outer world. I fear negative projections, and then feel negative emotions and expectations that other people have on me. How do I best tap into this core wound where I don't feel safe in being seen, but I don't feel like I'm being pushed to overcome or accepting, or just coming into the feeling of, oh, I do have a genius within me. As you were sharing all these points, I kept seeing this image that's getting stronger. I see this lady in waters. That lady is you. She's somehow submerged in the waters, and a group of snakes around her. It was a very vulnerable position that you had placed yourself. You were a light worker in that lifetime. That means you devoted your life in service of the divine, of the light. In exchange, you felt that you were humiliated and sacrificed in a ritual, and the group of snakes around. It felt as if someone wanted to poison you for all the good deeds you were trying to do. I'm also feeling slight tremors and shivers in my body as that image comes forth. And the masters are saying, that is one lifetime that has shaken you so much. Because deep within, in your consciousness, you felt unsafe as a light worker, because as you served the light with all your heart, you felt you were an object of sacrifice by other negative forces who were wielding power back then, and you felt small and unprotected. You couldn't even withstand the evil forces around. These evil forces projected all these snakes around you, and therefore trapping and suffocating you. So that lifetime is coming out to be cleared in the healing container. And even as we speak right now, the container is already open. This fear of being seen, this fear of showing and sharing your power, comes from that key lifetime. And they're saying it is Lemuria. So when that happens, that almost casts a shadow of doubt within. Across various lifetimes that you travel, the course of learning within you never ceased. That means you are always very interested, and your curiosity arises whenever these esoteric and spiritual subjects come about. You're immersed in them. You love them, the wide variety. You know you can do well. You can dabble in them. You know you can easily master a few of them if you want to, and even become a subject matter expertise in certain esoteric subjects that maybe other people had difficulty grasping. But to you, it comes almost like second nature. So that is truly a gift that you have in this world that didn't come about easily. It was accumulated through various lifetimes of hard learning that you had in various spiritual schools that you had the good fortune to learn and were blessed to meet the right teachers and the right conditions. Unfortunately, because of this deep fear of being sacrificed for serving the light, there is always this half-heartedness. On the one hand, you are always passionate about learning and receiving this knowledge. On the other hand, it is almost like a threat to you whenever you had to share this knowledge or to do something practical with this knowledge. That means, make yourself a teacher in this field, a facilitator, a guide, a light worker. All these things make you feel on your toes, nervous, cripple you. Because deep down, it is not just the fear of being seen, but the fear of being sacrificed, the feeling that you will not be protected if that happens, that you will just be left alone, poisoned, and maybe subject to death by the evil forces. The Masters want to assure you that the times have changed, and the conditions back then in Lemuria and now have been vastly different. In this lifetime, you have signed up as a brave soul in this almost tumultuous period in mankind, where a lot of things are being shaken up, and a lot of hard truths are slowly being revealed. You're almost placed at the frontiers as a truth seeker in this area, and you know right well that you have the capability to share the light on so many dark secrets in this world. It is almost like bubbling within, but you feel that there's no outlet to release, to ventilate, to share, and there's this immense fear that is stopping you. They want to share that the conditions now are different, and they really want to establish that bond, that protection, that feeling within your body that you're never alone. The times have changed, and right now you are really here as a truth seeker. It is not just a light worker bringing across a modality. You are a truth seeker, and you are here to bring the codes of truth to humanity at this point in time. Christine resonated with the messages, which she felt pinpointed the energetics, and of all the things she was feeling, including the love for learning and the fear of sharing. Her team shared that it's almost like a hidden craft that you have honed many lifetimes. They reiterated that this vast repository of knowledge that you have, it is not just accumulated in one lifetime. That is why you find it seemingly easier than others to grasp certain subjects or esoteric subjects that other people might be a little puzzled. But to you, it feels like second skin. It's almost like swimming in the waters that you're so familiar with. It feels like home. But then your comfort level right now is just to rest in these waters, and you don't feel mentally, emotionally prepared to step up. But a part of you yearns to do so. Therefore, there's this conflicting nature within. Because the more you learn, the more you desire to share this knowledge. But the more this other side, this ego side, this dark side, comes up to warn you that something might be lurking behind all this. There's this threat that comes with being seen. There's this danger of being seen. There's this potential sacrifice that you have to make as a result of being seen. All these are not true. All these are false beliefs that are even more conditioned upon us in this lifetime. For want of a better word, it is almost like a network of dark forces pressing down on humanity to try to limit the ability to speak and spread the light and truth within humanity. They remind that this is exactly what happened during COVID. That almost everybody was in a vacuum of sorts, that they allowed themselves to be deceived because they felt that they were under control. And therefore, people like us, like you, share an important purpose in humanity right now. And in fact, in where you are situated, there is a divine reason being orchestrated why you are placed in this country right now, in this kind of conditions, with this kind of mixed feelings, and with the skill sets that you have cultivated across lifetimes. There's this deeper reason to propel you forward, to embark on your spiritual mission. That spiritual mission doesn't mean you overnight having to come up to be a teacher of a modality. But that starts from sharing some lessons, some insights that you've garnered. Start from there and allow your voice to be released, be it through writing, through poetry, through blogging, through sharing your insights, even through speaking. They want to challenge you to try to do that, to put yourself in this zone of discomfort, and to realize for yourself that you are going to attract your tribe. Your tribe may not be represented in millions of followers overnight, but you will attract people who exactly yearn for that kind of truth that few people are willing to share and able to share. Even among the spiritual community, there are so many half-truths and untruths floating around. It gets a lot of spiritual seekers very confused. Which version is correct? Or this teacher appears to be very esteemed. But the more people learn from him or her, the shadier it feels and gets. Because unfortunately, there are also imposters here and there. And therefore, there is a greater divine reason they want you to be on spiritual mission. It might take some time for you to transition to even something part-time with this, but they want to challenge you to try to start something, to share your insights, your knowledge, your truths that you have interpreted across events, across topics. Consider for yourself what you want to share with humanity. As you start on this, ask for your team of Akashic Masters, guides, and angels to be with you, to support and protect you through this whole endeavor. And allow yourself to take on these dormant angelic wings behind your back and start getting into action. On the first sub-query, Christine asked if they want to clarify anything with that energy of the dark force, because now it still feels like a dark energy. Is there anything that can bring to light, that can resolve this? Or what is it that I'm scared of? What does that entail? 1. There's this lower personality that is struggling because of that experience in that lifetime. 2nd, in present life, all that we have been conditioned. So as we clear the past life, it will create some space. But what happens is that present conditioning appears everywhere. The system is designed to be as such that everywhere you go, there are unknowingly a lot of things that are there to control us in various ways that we have been so used, so ingrained, almost like taken for granted. Everywhere there's systems of governance. Everywhere there's currency. Everything is under control. In this case, even if that little fear in the present life comes up from time to time, the best way to really cripple it and overcome it is to do something the exact opposite and to keep going. It is truly like going against the tide, and that will really bring back your power online. When you start reclaiming your own power and sovereign truth, and to really step into mission. The mission might not be the biggest scale at the start. It might not be the grandest. It might not be a teacher of a modality. But so long as you commit to starting something and then you stay to it, that will switch something within. It is so powerful. You might have started off a random TikTok or Instagram post, something on the light, revealing some truths on certain events that you have witnessed. And that really shakes things up within you and also around you. It's almost like in a room of darkness where you are situated. You become one of the light bulbs that start switching on. When you switch on, you facilitate other light bulbs to switch on. And soon around you, you will start attracting your small little tribe of light bulbs. And that light bulb will keep growing as you hone your craft, continue to gain your experience on how to share, where to share, what to share. And then most essentially, gain that confidence to speak the truth. To know that in the process of speaking the truth, there's no fear, there's no backlash. It is not just communicated by me to you, by them to you, but it must be a deep feeling within. This feeling will be established over time, over the rapport that you will start building with your team. They encourage you to call upon them regularly. You can even give them names that you feel more closely aligned to, or call upon certain divine beings that you feel more closely connected. You can choose a few of them and call them in every day. Do it like a daily ritual and form this strong bond that they become like your project team for this mission. Alongside these beings, there will be other guardians and pure light beings who want to assist you, who love to assist you, and they may not be seen or known publicly. They may not be the famous Jesus or Mother Mary. They may be lower profile, but you can always feel into the energies, whether they are pure light beings or not. They want to share that when they come with peace. They may not talk the loudest, but they come with the energies of peace. So that's how you can verify. If they make you feel anxious or fearful, then it's not the right connection. On the second sub-query, Christine wanted to explore more about truths, the energy of truth that comes from deep within. Is that a truth that's universal or a truth that belongs to me? In the process of cultivating yourself, you will realize your own truths, which may or may not align with the mainstream truths. The mainstream, by definition, it really depends, because there are various schools of thought and everybody holds different light codes, and not always pure light codes. Even the most esteemed of teachers, maybe their soul's experience allowed them to hold the light codes for certain kinds of wisdom teachings, but not the rest. So when they accidentally move to those areas where they may not have the full experience, then comes the half-truths, the untruths. But they may not fully realize, because everybody is in the process of learning. Most importantly, at every stage, what you're sharing comes from a place of utmost humility and honesty to the self. And that is really what matters. For your case, start with your own truths of what you witness in daily life, small things. Start with those that you feel more comfortable about, and gradually move into areas where you know that you have spent some time immersing in this thought process. You know that there's some truth in this. There's no need to share a long repository of the exact truth, but to shed some light that things may not appear as it is, that certain things might require a second thought. This is what is lacking in humanity, the ability to rethink what is taken for granted. You're here to shake things up. Shake up the systems of governance. Shake up the mainstream thought process. Shake up the conventional way of doing things. And then really bypassing all this through your own efforts, through your own quirkiness. But your quirkiness brings about your own unconventional truth that is important right now. There's a deeper reason why you are a truth seeker, because your truths are insights that have been garnered and accumulated across various lifetimes, whether you realize it or not. There's always this deeper feeling within of knowing certain things, and then this deeper curiosity that you have to continue to unravel more things. So your deep knowing is not something that stands alone, but this deep curiosity brings on more confirmation, more checks and balances. That makes you a very safe channel to share the truth, because you know that whatever you write is something that has gone through very elaborate thought process. And though it may not sit comfortably with everyone, or most of them, it doesn't really matter, because you are here to share those light codes, those truth codes, to those who are ready to receive. They may not form the majority, but over time, they will start to gather around you because they identify, resonate, and align with the truth that you're emanating. That will grow over time. At the start, don't be disheartened. You might even feel like you're talking in a vacuum. But as you write, as you keep amassing this truth, it is like a force field of truth power. And then it will only strengthen as you keep adding on. At a certain point, you start attracting your tribe, and your tribe grows. So that is the spiritual mission that they invite you to step into, if you feel ready. It will benefit you and others on so many levels, because for you, it represents the first crucial step that you need to comfortably be in public, be in the limelight. When you do that, it is not just in this lifetime, but you're trying to unravel all the fears that have been accumulated for so long. And many times, that fear is almost unspoken, unexplainable. And the only thing to truly overcome it in this lifetime, once and for all, is to do the exact opposite and to stick with it. Christine shared that it has really opened up so much for her, and that it is okay to not have to get the truth, the things that are coming in exactly. Her team shared, you don't have to be a perfectionist. The perfection is an illusion. The truth may not be that black and white, for everything exists in shades of gray. That's why share your truths at every moment, from a place of utmost humility and honesty to the self. Because as you cultivate yourself, or years down the road, you realize maybe the first post that you shared, there was another angle of truth that you just discovered, and that adds it on. So you're not afraid to add on the other dimension of truth without fearing that, oh, what will others see me? Am I contradicting myself? You are not, because you are learning, you're growing, and the truths are changing. On the third sub-query, Christine asked how would she hold herself through that process of evolution, to not allow herself to feel disqualified for the truth that was there in the past, and to allow herself and others to continue to have different truths at different times of evolution. It is like a spiritual ladder of ascension, but it's almost too simplistic to say that, because when we see a ladder of ascension, it seems like there's only one way up. But in fact, at various stages, what you're trying to do is you're trying to pull your hand out to pull up whoever is below you that needs some assistance, and bring them on the same level as you, and then reach your hand above to receive some assistance and go up. As you go up, you look down, and then maybe the conditions look different, and you continue your whole journey. What's more important is your whole intention behind this exercise. Even the most esteemed teachers, those that truly keep ascending, not just by whatever they say, are those that are truly humble and ready to contradict themselves when they need to, ready to do a revamp of whatever they have taught in the past, if they need to. And that really comes from a place of utmost humility and service to the divine, service beyond the self or ego. That makes you almost untainted by the dark forces when you're so flexible this way. Because it is so easy to hijack a light worker's mind when maybe they have started sharing certain truths, and then arrogance comes in. The feeling that they have amassed a certain number of followers and earnings based on this current knowledge, and they can stick to that knowledge. It is easy to hijack someone's mind like this, to just continue with status quo. Everything is correct. Everything that you have taught is the best. You are the best. And then they stay stagnant and start to descend. Even if they are reputable, even if they have millions of followers. If we want to keep going up the ladders of ascension, we have to be so flexible, humble, and honest with ourselves at every moment that this is what we are sharing, bringing up whoever is beneath us. And as we continue to go up, we continue to pull whoever is below us. And that is really your job as the truth seeker and sharer right now. They want to reiterate, you don't need to be a perfectionist. You don't need to be 100% error-free. Know that whatever you're sharing goes beneath the words. It also holds the energy, the purity of the intentions that vibrate with the words. So the words might not be error-free. The words might not be the best expression, but it is the right vibrations to bring across at that point in time. It is your truth, and it is good enough. At this stage, there's no need for you to copy others and replicate others and look at others, because you are your own embodiment, and you are going to attract your own tribe. The more you try to look at others, or maybe feel the need to copy others, that comes from a place of insecurity, then the harder it is for you to attract your own tribe, because you are deviating from yourself. For you, that fun element comes with your quirkiness. You're able to shed some light on certain truths with a certain quirkiness that only you can embody. And that makes the truth come across as fun, almost cynical, and something that people can take it in a light-hearted way, and therefore more easily digestible. So that's your magic power. Stay tuned to the next episode for part 2 of this session. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast. If you would like to read about my dialogues and reflections with the Akashic Masters, you can visit my free blog at Asha-AkashicRecords.com. Till next time, take care.